questions for you.
Sure.
Okay. I was with my significant other a couple of days ago, and her sister started putting videos on the television from her phone, talking about these videos and pictures. And my question is, if my significant other said, "Hey, sister, I'm glad I wasn't doing anything wrong, because if I would have been doing something wrong, you would have had me in a video and I would have been cold busted." My reaction to that was an inappropriate statement for you to make. They don't understand why that was inappropriate. Am I wrong for thinking that way?
Did you explain why you thought it was inappropriate?
I said, when I tried to explain it, it was that you're too sensitive. No, I said anybody that's in a relationship with a person would have found that to be a problem for you to address that in a room of family members that not related to me. If I look at a video and I tell you, "Hey, don't put that on there," that's indicating you doing something outside of when you're not in my presence.
She said this in front of you?
She said this in front of me. She said this in front of 8 of her family members. They were doing line dances.
Gotcha.
And her sister started showing videos, and she said, "Sister, I am glad that I wasn't with anybody, because if I would have been with somebody, I would have been cold busted." She don't understand why I had a concern with that.
So were you assuming that she was doing something she shouldn't have been doing?
No, I wasn't assuming that she wasn't. I was trying to understand, why did you need to make that comment?
Okay.
Why would you need to make that type of comment in a room full of people?
Gotcha.
It kind of was embarrassing. Like,
right.
Everybody's eyes got big, and they was just like, "Damn."
Were y'all drinking?
No, we really wasn't drinking. We had a little drink or two. It's just kind of like people that think about their significant other's feelings. Most people are not going to say anything like that. You're almost incriminating yourself.
Right. Okay. A couple of things. I doubt she was doing anything, because if she was, it would be very silly to say in front of you. Like, somebody who was actually doing something wouldn't even have made that comment. So that's less likely their concern. But to your point, yeah, it is embarrassing to say in front of people, to even pretend like you're doing something while your significant other is present. So yeah, no, I don't think you're in the wrong at all.
Well, she was saying that I'm too sensitive. I was saying, if anybody said that in front of their significant other, that was a comment that shouldn't have been made, not just for me, for anybody that's in a relationship with anybody. And she had like she couldn't understand that. And I was like, and then she said, "Oh, it was just a joke." And I even tapped my cousin on the leg to let her know, to see what type of reaction you was going to have. I said, "So you think it's okay to make me the butt of your joke in front of your family? That's not okay."
Okay.
But, when I say these things, it's just like I'm the person from Mars, and nobody else would have had this same reaction. And that's my question to you. Am I wrong for thinking that way, of what anybody thought that way?
No, not everybody would have like been offended by that. Some people like would have saw it for what it is. It's a joke, but that's not important. You don't like it. That's what's important here.
Right.
So to argue that anyone, it sounds like she wouldn't have been offended by something like that, right? So it's not that everyone would have a problem with it. It's you have a problem with it, and that's what's most important. There's nothing wrong with you having a problem with it.
Oh, okay.
But the problem I'm seeing is there is an unwillingness to hear the other side, right? Like there's an unwillingness. She isn't willing to understand your perspective,
Exactly.
right? So
Right.
so that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's an incompatible. There's going to be other versions of this in your relationship should you
Okay.
continue to deal with this person. So
Okay.
if you want to stay with this person, you're just going to have to deal with that kind of stuff. Because if they're unwilling to hear your side, like the proper response would have been like, "Yo, I didn't mean no harm. I can see how you feel that way. My apologies. My bad."
And they did apologize for it after I went into detail.
Okay.
If you would have done that and apologized immediately and say, "Hey, my bad. I didn't mean to do that."
Did you say that?
For me, it
Did you address this in front of the family or in front
No,
of?
I did not.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
no, I didn't do that. I did
Okay.
not do that. But later on, when I addressed it, it was a tug of war to get you to apologize because you didn't really feel like you did anything wrong.
Yeah, a better approach was just going to be like how that made you feel.
Okay.
So like you want to when you have those type of moments, try not to attack the person, attack the behavior.
Okay.
So because when you attack the behavior, they get less defensive. When you attack them, that's when they get defensive, right? So it's better to be like, that made me feel X. I didn't appreciate it. When you did that, that made me feel S. I didn't really appreciate it, right? So that way they'll be like more receptive because it doesn't sound like she can't see your point. It sounds like she was just defending herself because she felt like you were attacking her.
But every time you do something weird and I say something about it, you feel that way. And I said, if I can't talk to you about the things that you do that I don't care for,
yeah, but
we don't need to be together.
I agree with that. But understand this. What I just gave you was feedback on how you approach the situation, right?
Right.
You didn't approach this situation that way, right?
I think I did.
The way that hold on. The way that I just described, you didn't approach it that way.
I may have not approached it that way.
Right. Okay. So that would mean that every other time you've had this issue with her, you also didn't approach it the way that I described.
Okay.
Right?
What I'm saying is when I do approach it, any way I approach it, I'm the bad person because I'm too sensitive. No matter how I approach it, it's like you don't take accountability for the things you're saying.
You're saying no matter how I approach it, what I'm telling you is, as a coach, if you approached it this way in this situation, the way that you did, which is different from how I described it, that would mean you likely always approach it that way.
Okay. So I'll approach it the way you
exactly.
said.
Now, if you approach it the way I'm describing, and she still doesn't take accountability or tries to push it back on you, then yeah, 100%, the relationship's not gonna work.
Okay. I got you.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Keep me posted on how it goes, all right?
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Who we got next? Sometimes you gotta do that, Shantega. You know, so you gotta, I do that in real life too. Like, if I have conflict, I gotta like take a deep breath first, because taking that deep breath, like, it gives you more space to like think, so you don't just react. Okay, here's what I'm saying, right? It's that tough. It's that. I didn't always do that because I used to like just immediately just go attack mode. All right, let's see if Tiffany connects. You got to, CC. You want to increase the space between stimulus and response. The more you can increase the space between stimulus and response, the more you can like kind of like access your prefrontal cortex and like think logically about the situation. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi. So it's not so much relationship kind of advice or dating. Well, maybe it's considered dating advice. So I'm currently single.
All right.
Very comfortable in my singlehood, but kind of flirting with the idea of putting myself out there.
Okay.
Right? There are some potentials, but I'm struggling between wanting to be in a relationship and not wanting to be in a relationship, right? I think that the longer you're single, the more comfortable you are in that singlehood.
Right.
I don't even know if that's a question. I think I kind of answered my own question. Yeah, I mean, what is your perspective on that?
I need a specific question.
How do you get out of the comfortability of being single, right? To submit yourself to a relationship.
Okay. Why do you want a relationship?
I think that not so much. I'm open to it, right? I mean, if it doesn't happen, that's fine. I would love the companionship. I think that I'm ready to be in a relationship, but again, it's not losing sleep over it either.
Right.
If that's fair.
I mean, that position kind of destines you to not be in one.
You think so?
Yeah, because one of the biggest problems with relationships nowadays is how people are framing it. You know? So they're framing it as a source of happiness or an additional source of happiness. Relationships require work. So basically what you're saying is, what it sounds like you're saying is, you're very comfortable being by yourself.
Very.
Okay, so being by yourself is your comfort zone. Okay? Getting into a relationship is going to require you to become uncomfortable.
No, well, that's fair too. That's a fair assessment. But also, in order to be able to be a good partner, I should be able to, be comfortable in me, right?
Right.
To be able to offer the best version.
Now here's the thing. I agree with that. 100%. Yeah, that's the point that I'm making. However, when you frame it as like, well, I'm open to it, that means there's no like inherent desire for it. And the desire for it is what makes you willing to tolerate the discomfort that comes with it.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a fair assessment. All right. I mean, again, I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things. Like the longer you are single, the less. Hey, you. The longer you're single, it's not an inherent need, right? It's welcome. I'm very open and welcome to the prospects of being in a healthy relationship where, I'm giving and receiving the same way, but it's not like, again, I'm not losing sleep over it.
I got you. But like, say for instance, a person's overweight and they're like, it was nice to be in shape. It's like, but to get in shape, it's going to require you to really do some uncomfortable things. And if you don't really have a desire to be in shape, if it's just too much, if you just think about it like it would be nice to do it, you're not going to have a strong enough desire to withstand the discomfort that comes with it, right? So if you're positioning this as like, okay, it will be nice, yeah, it's probably not going to happen then. And then there's multiple reasons why people will, we haven't unpacked this with you, I haven't asked you the questions, but there's many reasons why people say that they're happy alone. Like there's one thing where it's like, okay, like one possible reason for that could be it's the genuine truth. Like, oh, I'm actually happier this way, right? Another reason is they don't want to be hurt and they're coping. Another reason is they're avoidantly attached and there's fear, right? There's fear around getting closer with someone and losing their independence.
No, for me, if I can like pinpoint what it is, it's not the latter. I'm absolutely comfortable with my current state, right? Where, I'm fulfilled in the predominant areas of my life.
Okay.
And I've reached a place where I would like to share, something meaningful with someone else, but absolutely satisfied, happy, fulfilled, like in a good era.
Okay.
Right?
The way you're articulating it now, you said you would like to share. Okay. So now that word like means
it would be nice.
Yeah,
to
so
have
there's
my
some
person.
so
You
there's
know what I
some
mean?
There's some
I'm
desire
not
there.
adverse to it.
Yeah, so it's like you're in a place based on how you're describing it. It's not a need, which is a good thing.
No,
When it's a need, then you start making bad decisions.
of course.
You're basically describing a desire. So if there's a desire for it, okay, now you're positioned to actually make it happen.
No, for sure. I'm absolutely open to the prospects. I'm willing to put in the work to a certain extent, right? Again, when you're single for quite some time, there's a comfortability in it, right? But totally willing to put myself out there and do the exercises like you said. But dating has
what
been
is
quite interesting as well.
So how long have you been single?
I have been single now for 9 years.
9 years. How old are you?
I'm 42.
42. So your last relationship, was that marriage or just a relationship?
It was marriage.
It was marriage. How long were you married?
We were married for 10 years.
10 years. Why did it end?
Infidelity,
Okay.
which is basically a deal breaker for me.
Right. Was it just one instance of infidelity or a pattern?
One instance.
Okay. So you divorced like immediately after that?
Absolutely.
Okay. And what does your lifestyle look like now?
Career-wise, doing great. Motherhood looks great. Busy, business. I mean, life is good, right?
Right.
And I'm finally at a location or a place where I can entertain being in something exclusive.
So a relationship.
If that makes sense. Yeah, for sure.
Would you get married again?
I don't see the need to do that.
Okay. Why not?
I don't see the need to do that.
Why not?
I don't see the need to do that. I mean, I've been married. I don't see the inherent need for me to do that in my current lifestyle.
Why did you get married the first time?
Because I was young and innocent and wanted that traditional life.
Okay. How old were you when you got married?
I'm in my early 20s.
Okay. Early 20s. How'd you meet your ex-husband?
In church.
Okay. So you're a Christian?
I am.
Okay. All right. So you really believe in the Christian values and the Christian faith?
I believe in the blueprint. Whether that's for me, it's another story.
Okay. But that's part of the Christian faith is
Yeah.
believe
That's a very fair assessment.
believe in the tenets, right? So you want, so there's some fear here.
I don't think it's fear. I think it's kind of more like been there, kind of done that. I don't.
You've been there and done that with that particular person.
Which is fair.
Okay. So there is fear here. Everybody has fears, love. You don't have to try to avoid that acknowledgement. Like it's very normal to be
No,
to become.
I mean, it could be your assessment that I'm coming off as I'm fearful of it.
Okay.
But honestly, there's there's a lot of reasons why I wouldn't get married. Not so much because of the fear, like the combining of expenses, the combining of your responsibilities and my financial responsibilities. I have a lot of investments, and that's another thing that you would have to contend with, kind of like that merging of empires. I don't
Right.
think I'm interested in that right now.
Gotcha. I
I
understand.
think that I'm solely interested in having a companion, but not too much like the legalities of it.
Right.
If that
but
makes sense.
but you just described things that you're fearful of it going south. If you were to get married and there was nothing but increase, so it's nothing but in addition to everything that you've built, and there was a guarantee that it would not go south, my sneaky suspicion is you wouldn't have such an issue with it.
Yeah, I mean, again, that is a fair assessment, but I think that if we're looking at a relationship as a business merger, it has, its risks and, benefits.
Right.
I don't think right now where I'm at, I feel like any relationship in that context the risks would outweigh the benefits.
Okay. And the reason why you feel like they're so risky is because of your experience in your past marriage.
not so much my experience in my past marriages. It's kind of like, if we're looking at the rate of divorce and how, society is and
Right.
all of those things.
Right.
I just, for me, I don't see the need. I mean, I don't.
But do you have like a business?
I do.
Okay. What business are you in?
Do I have to disclose?
You don't have to. You can be general, but you don't have to share it at all. I just want to.
IT.
Okay. 90% of businesses fail within the first 5 years.
Absolutely.
Worse stats than marriage.
Fair.
But you're a business. But you're a business owner. So why are you willing to take that risk but not the other one?
But it's kind of. But why must I be confined in a titleship or I don't think that's necessary for me. I think everybody has what's important to them.
I hear you.
Right now, marriage is not at the top of my.
I hear all of
At
that,
the
love.
top of the list for me.
I hear all of that. And but I'm also saying is the reason why it's not partially is because of fear. Everything you've said is fear-based. It is looking at the downside and being like, that downside could happen to me. I'm afraid of it happening to me, so I don't want it at all. Because there's some cognitive.
If you're looking for a word.
What you're trying to.
Word.
Yeah, it's the accurate read on the situation. What you're trying to do is like, how can I get the benefits of being in a relationship without experiencing the risk that comes along with it?
That is an assessment. I think that it's, for me again, I think that I'm not comfortable with the word fear. Maybe it's really a disinterest of that level of commitment.
But you're not comfortable with the word fear because that means that it's not it doesn't reflect how you see yourself. So we're basically having an identity conversation. You probably have faced a lot of fears in your life. You already have a business, so you probably see yourself as a courageous person, a strong person. So me calling out this fear, you're offering resistance to it because it doesn't match how you see yourself. But that doesn't change. That doesn't change that it's the fact of the situation.
Yeah,
right?
But that's kind of contentious. That's a very contentious assessment because it's kind of like you're putting a title on it. Like, right?
Right, but a business, but calling you a businesswoman is also a title, but you don't have any problem with that because it matches your identity. Here's the thing: the way that you grow as a person, you have to be able to face hard truths and feel the discomfort that comes with it, right? So everyone is afraid of something. Me saying that you have this fear is not an attack of your character. No, but if you reject it and then try to do like the linguistic gymnastics of calling it something else other than fear, it's going to prevent your growth.
Fair. I'll accept that. But I mean, if we go back to the nucleus of it, right? The point is, totally open to dating, totally, flirting with the idea of it, but not with the, ultimate ending or like the
Let me tell you how this plays out. Part of the benefit of marriage, especially in the biblical context, is a complete merger. You're looked at as one person. You look at the story of Job, right? Remember when Job lost his kids, lost his livestock, lost everything. He didn't lose his wife though. Why? Because biblically they're one flesh, they're one person.
Right.
So marriage is like a symbolic representation of like us becoming one. When you have a mentality of like, I don't want to get married, I just want to be with someone, you are preventing yourself from fully giving yourself to that person. So that means intimacy is going to hit a wall. And when intimacy hits a wall, the relationship typically declines. Things are either growing or they are regressing. That's life. It's law of entropy. You're either getting better or you're getting worse, right? So that positions you to only select for other people who have some degree of emotional unavailability. Because the only person who will decide to be with you with that orientation is a person who also has their own fears. They're going to be a degree of emotional unavailability, which then positions you to only attract, and emotional unavailability manifests as a lot of different problems within the connection. So now you're positioning yourself to only have optionality around people who have a similar fear that you have, which is going to manifest as problems in the connection.
I see where you're going with that. I don't entirely agree. I don't entirely agree. Why is that? Because that also contends with the idea of two people coming together and not and just being secure in the now, right? Not projecting
Secure,
for something in
secure,
the future.
secure is the absence of fear. We've already established you have fear. So secure is not a word we can use in this situation.
You established that it was fear based, right? That's what you're focusing on. You're honing on, this potential that it's fear based.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fear based. It's kind of really like something I'm not interested in. Just because you're not interested in something doesn't mean that you're inherently fearful of that thing.
Okay.
It's just kind of like something that's I'm not interested in it, right? I'm not interested in playing that role. But if I'm flirting with the idea of dating, right, and it's kind of a push and tug, imagine the not want to be someone's wife, like not interested in it. And it's not fear-based, it's just really disinterest.
Right. You know what people tend to do when they feel fear they don't want to acknowledge? They find ways to engage in mental gymnastics.
Absolutely. You
Right.
can consider it that.
Right.
But it's a profound thing. I'm just not interested in the idea of marriage.
Okay.
And again, maybe it contends with my religion. It's the antithesis of what Christianity may be.
Right.
Does that mean that I don't recognize the male rule of a household or that, having that patriarchy in my household? Of course I recognize that. My parents are still together today. So I recognize that.
Right.
Just not really interested in it.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you have your mind made up, love, but this plays out exactly how I described. Like I'm a
It can be, but it can also be the opposite of that.
Okay. Well, like I said,
It was a pleasure, though.
Sounds like you have your mind made
for
up,
your
love.
insight.
you have a good one.
You too.
I'm gonna get to the next caller. Hold on 1 second, Tiffany. Keep yourself muted. So, this is why coaching can be difficult, because not everybody is coachable. You limit yourself. The prerequisite of growth is telling yourself the truth. The issue with intelligent people, because the young lady who just called in is obviously a very smart person. Here's the issue with intelligent people. They rationalize everything. Not all intelligent people, obviously. That's why there's a difference between intelligence and wisdom. That's why we have different words for those things. Because intelligence is not wisdom. You understand? So some people cannot handle the truth of their situation. So when you tell them the truth of their situation, their psychological defenses activate. So if you look at that last call, she wants to swap words for what's going on. She's trying to swap words so she doesn't have to feel the psychological pain of accepting the truth of the situation. It could be exhausting, but it plays out exactly how I said it plays out. Swapping the semantics does not change the truth of the situation. You can't effectively be a Christian and then, like, you could be a Christian and sin. That's normal. But you can't pick and choose what you decide to follow. You can't debate the Bible if you are a Christian. It doesn't work that way. Because then what is the point? What is the faith even based on? You're essentially saying, I know more than God knows. If you're a Christian, you're like, well, I disagree with that, God. I think you're the creator of everything. I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong about this point, actually. It doesn't work for me. No. Now, we look at what role does Satan play biblically? The deceiver. One way you deceive someone or get people to deceive themselves is to allow them to rationalize. Do you understand? It's unfortunate. Hopefully, she can acknowledge the fear and move forward in a better way. But not going to find a good connection with that mentality. Okay. Tiffany, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Great, how are you?
I'm okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So me and this gentleman have been off and on. I would say. I'm sorry. I work in the hospital, so a rapid response just came. So you may hear that off and on. But me and this gentleman has been off and on through 4 years, like 4.5 years. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's been like a confirmed relationship, and there's been moments where I have asked and tried to address it, but it always just seemed to get brushed to the side. But just a couple of days ago, we got into like a very, I would say it was like our most heated in argument, to the point where it was names that I was called that just really dismantled me.
Right.
Excuse me.
Okay.
So I really tried to hear him out on when he stated that a moment that I disrespected him. So he keeps bringing this moment up, but when a person is explaining something and explaining it in an aggressive way, it's hard for me to hear them out, because I literally hear that you're just yelling, and it just goes in one ear out the other. Because if I'm coming to you in a calm and respectable manner, I expect that to be reciprocated when you're explaining that. So the argument went to a level I would have never expected between him and I, because of basically what it's been through for the 4.5 years. As I go back and I look at the text message from what he stated that the disrespect came from, I just don't see it. And I know he has explained it multiple times, and I guess at this point he's tired of explaining, because it's like, I don't get it. And then he stated that it's been other occasions where I have. And my thing is, where is the respect, the disrespect is coming from? Because I literally don't see it. And if I don't see it, how am I ever going to correct it? And sometimes when I get emotional, it's not a safe space for me to be emotional when it comes to this individual. And I'm trying to figure out where to go from here, because it's like I want it to work, but after that argument and the things that were said to me, I don't know if I really want to continue with that, because I just have a feeling that it's going to happen again.
Okay.
The problem is just going to just keep reoccurring, because no one really fully sat down and had a conversation, had the talk, had it in a respectable manner, a low tone. All the yelling and stuff, when you get heated into an argument, you say stuff, I say stuff, and that's just where it goes. It just never gets resolved.
Okay, what was the argument about?
So, and the argument is still stemming from a couple of months ago. He was working late, and he asked me to cook him something. I say, sure. Because the time of his job extended longer, he wasn't able to come and get the food. I said, okay, I'll just wrap it up and you'll get it in the morning. Through the entire night, I was texting him. He was letting me know that he may not be able to come and get it, and the text messages ran over until 1 and 2 in the morning. Remind you, I still had to get up within a few hours to go to work myself. And he texts back and he said, I'm not going to be able to make it to your house. Can you take it to work? I say, sure, you can pick it up from there. As I get to work, and I work in a hospital, I am a float secretary, so I don't know which particular unit that I will be assigned to until I get to work. That particular day, I was assigned to a unit that's psych ward, meaning I cannot be on my phone. I cannot be in my phone. So text messages that are coming in, I cannot, respond like I would do any other time. And that was something that I did text and tell him, like, I can't respond like you want me to, whatever the text. And I try to. I literally, every time you text, hey, if you gotta come and pick up, if you come and pick up the food, that's fine. If you're not, it's okay. I get it. You're tired. You worked all night. It's fine. And that's what he was texting back as well, that he's tired, he's exhausted. But it just overheated when he asked me what the food was. And I just said, it's food. It's food. I've been knowing you for 4.5 years. I know what you like and I know what you don't like. So I'm not going to cook you something that I know that you're not going to eat. You asked me to cook you something, I cooked it. When I wouldn't specifically say what I actually cook, that's when it went from, oh, you're killing the vibe. I don't have time for this. I'll talk to you later. And it just went, that whole no contact went for 2 whole months, like 2.5 months.
So that's what the argument was about?
That's what the argument was about.
Okay, now when he says that you that you disrespect him, what is he specifically referring to? Has he communicated that?
I guess he's stating that I could have just simply said what it was. And I explained to him that I can't be in my phone. I'm on a unit that I've never been on before. And like I said, when you're in a psych ward, you have to really pay attention to your surroundings. Not just your surroundings, but not just with patients, but also with your staff members. So this unit was new to me, and I didn't want to be on my phone texting this, texting that, because that's just how he is. The communicate level is not bad or anything. It's just the fact, like, hey, this particular time, I cannot be going back and forth in my phone. I didn't say, oh, well, it's effing food. It's what, I didn't curse about it. I just said it was food.
So at that point, were you stressed out at work because you were in a new spot?
I'm sorry, what's your question again?
At that point, were you stressed out at work because you were in a new unit?
No. I'm a float pool, so when I get to work and I get assigned to my unit, I never know what unit I'm going to be on. Me being stressed out from being on that unit, no, I have been on units that's worse than that.
Gotcha. Okay. So you said it's been 4 years. You've been off and on for 4 years. What is the reason for y'all being off and on?
The first time around, when we first parted ways, I didn't fully know of, things that he were doing. I didn't know that he was messing around with different people. And when he finally came to truth about it, the main reason why he did it, it was because of something personal I just don't want to mention on here. And I do feel if that would have never happened, he probably still would be doing what he be doing. When we first met, my thing is, you could have been honest. You could have been, 100% with me. You could have kept it 100 with me. You honestly could have told me, if you're dating or whatever this is that you're doing. My only thing is I would have respected it. It's like you came in, you gave yourself choices of what you wanted to do and how you wanted to do it, but you didn't give me that choice. Even when I brought the whole relationship thing to the table, he didn't, wanted to do that. And I said, fine. And I backed off. Like, I literally just stopped talking and stopped dealing with him. He went his way and I went mine. And we reconnected. But when we did, I mentioned to him, like, hey, I'm not that same individual that you met months ago or even when we parted ways.
All right. Okay. But y'all still are not in a relationship.
No, it's the things that I get from it. It's a breadcrumbing situation. It's a hot and cold situation. One moment we can be on, it can be going good, and then the next moment it's like no contact, no nothing. It's no date. It's like it's never been no dating. Just none whatsoever unless I initiate it. Like one
So why?
time he told me,
So hold on. Why are you even still there?
I honestly don't know.
How old are you two?
I'm 40.
Okay. Do you want to be in a relationship?
I do.
Okay. Well, it's not going to happen with this person, love. And the longer you deal with this person, you're going to delay being with the person that you can actually be with. And you're 40. So I wouldn't waste that time at 40 at all. So this whatever y'all got going on doesn't work. It doesn't lead to a relationship. So you absolutely should leave. Now, situation that occurred, my read on it is, it's hot and cold because he likely uses those opportunities as a justification to not talk to you so that he can do whatever he's doing with other people.
Correct.
Now, so like that situation, he overreacted to it. But you also were being very sarcastic with your food response.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again, please?
I said you also were being very sarcastic with your food response by saying it's food. If you could type "is food," you can also type what the food is. It requires the same amount of energy. So like there's no, like, you can't be like, oh, I can't text on my phone. Well, you obviously can because you said it was food, right? So you can put words in your phone. So that means you could have also just said what food was and then avoided this situation. But that's not the major problem here, because the major problem is I think he's overreacting so that he can go do what he wants to do. And also the major problem is you're with someone who is never going to actually be with you for real, so you're effectively wasting your time.
Okay. Okay.
So this never ends in a relationship. This story never has a happy ending. So you're best off leaving so that you can go find the person who will actually give you what you want.
Okay, I got you.
Okay? All right, love. So I want you to follow back up with me and let me know how things are going, okay?
I got you.
All right, dear. Take care of yourself.
You too.
All right. Interesting calls today. Real quick, chat. So I've been thinking about what ebook I should write for people in my audience. Specifically, hold on 1 second, Opal. Need y'all's feedback.
Yeah,
Okay, gotta take Michael down. So, thinking about writing an ebook around like how to be more dateable, both for men and women. Where we're covering things like spark and safety, covering things like static environments, the 3 pillars of attraction, things like that, both men and women. Do you think that's a useful ebook? Specifically written for people who want to either A, find someone, or B, improve the quality of people that they do find and connect with. Is that something y'all be interested in? Put a 1 in the chat for yes, put a 2 in the chat, 2 in the chat for no, just so we can like quickly get everybody to read. 1 in the chat for yes, 2 in the chat for no. I would frame it differently, but keep writing the same ideas of writing. Yeah, I haven't really decided on how to frame it, but that's the problem that I'm solving in that book. It's really solving the problem of positioning. Okay. Or improve the quality of thinking for relationship compatibility. Yeah. All that's going to be included. because I know there's a segment of my audience who are not dating anybody right now, but they obviously want to because they watch this live. So it's like I don't have anything that exists for them other than my course that's specifically for men. But since I'm positioning myself as a dating and relationship coach for both men and women, I need to have something that can talk to both men and women. Okay, well, we got mostly yeses. All right, well, it's confirmed. It's confirmed. So I'm gonna work on the table of contents today, follow up with the mods, make sure I get their blessing on it, and that'll probably be done within the next. Deadline for that will be end of August. All right, just want to make sure. All right, let's get to the next call. Appreciate y'all's feedback. Opal, what's going on?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm an older woman, right? I
Right.
don't know if this is really a problem for me. I'm not overly excited to be dating anybody right now, but I want to do it, right? But what I find happening to me, I'm 57. What I find happening to me is that most of the persons who are attracted to me, who reach out to me, are like younger guys. Nobody my age or older. And they keep saying, I mean, age is just a number, and I mean, it's not to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's something that I do. Why, these are like little boys.
Right. How old are they typically? Like, what's the range?
When they're in 30s, 40s, to me, I mean, you're young.
How old are you?
And I'm 57.
Check you out, Opal. Hey. All
Yeah,
right.
57.
57. So they're in their 30s and 40s. You still.
Yeah.
So what's your age range that you would like to date?
My age, or maybe 50s.
Okay.
50, a little bit over my age.
Right.
But certainly not 30. My son is 26.
All right. So, how are you meeting these? Like, how are these guys approaching you? How are they reaching out to you?
Maybe on social media, like persons I know around my job.
Okay.
Because I don't go out much.
So people around your job, what do you do for a living?
I teach.
Okay. You're a teacher. Like what? Like college, high school?
High school.
High
But
school.
like persons that I meet, parents, on the street, at the supermarket, just random places with my community, but these are young boys.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is partially due to your age and the environment you're placing yourself in. Like men around your age range probably taking a nap. They're probably too busy taking a nap right now. So it's like they're just not even given the opportunity to see you. And
That's
you look young. You look younger than what you are. So like it would make sense why the younger guys are going after you. It's just like guys go after women who they're attracted to. You just happen to be in environments that are selecting for guys who are younger. So those are just the guys that you are around. Like you're saying, parents of a high schooler. Okay, well they're probably going to be in that age range, 30s and 40s, right?
And they keep saying age is just a number. I mean, it's not really a number.
All right, it's a little more than a number, so I get it. There's actually a new phenomenon too. Like a lot of younger guys have been pursuing older women. Historically, that's been because they just wanted to sleep with them. But I've been seeing like guys committing to older women now. So I don't know what's in the water. I don't know what's going on, but it's like a new thing that's happening right now. So, the way to solve this problem, Opal, is to start putting yourself in environments where you can actually come across men in that age range.
Oh, okay.
Right. So you got to get outside, Opal. You got to get outside. You can't. You can't get one off Amazon. You said what?
I know. Sometimes I don't really want to go out either. When I'm home from work, I just don't want to go anywhere.
So do you want a relationship, or you just kind of cool on it?
I'm open to it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not stressing about it, but I'm open to it.
That sounds familiar, doesn't it, Chad? Okay, so So, I would tell you to like kind of put yourself in static environments. So there's two ways to meet people organically. There's dynamic environments and status environments, right? So dynamic environments are environments where every time you go there, there's different people. That's not ideal.
Okay.
That's like the environments outside of your job that you're putting yourself in are dynamic environments. It's not ideal. You want static environments. Static environments are the opposite. They are environments where you see the same people over and over and over again. Because
Okay.
that
Okay.
way you can kind of have that more slow burn approach. That way you can kind of build a connection with someone, and it also increases
Yeah.
the odds that you get approached because people see you over and over again. So someone who may be
Yeah.
intimidated by your looks is probably going to build up the courage if they see you frequently
Yeah.
to talk to you, right? So it's a better
Okay.
option. But also static environments can select for the type of man that you want,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, for example, you want someone who is fit, you go to the gym, right? Like that's it's selecting for that trait. So for you, it would be best for you to go to environments that can filter for a particular age range.
Okay.
That can also be a static environment
Gotcha.
that you're also interested in. So you don't gotta go out and play bingo. You ain't gotta do that. You ain't gotta do that, right?
Okay.
But like, yeah, just so give some thought to that, like something that you actually are interested in that selects
Yeah.
for men who are a bit older.
Okay.
And then just start. It doesn't have to be something you do daily or anything like that. There just needs to be some sort of consistent cadence. So it could be once a
Yeah.
week. It could be once every 2 weeks. It could be once a month. Just as long as you're consistently showing up in that environment, you increase your odds of like that chance encounter. And it needs to be something you're interested in
Yeah.
because you want to actually enjoy the experience, even if you don't meet a person there.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
No problem, dear. Best of luck to you. All right.
Yeah, cool.
All right. Bye. Got 10 people in the QC, so you start bringing people up. You were cooking. I was like, hey, I ain't got to look at the queue at all. CC got me. 57 is not old. What is it? Is it young? If you gotta think about like jumping, you're old. If you gotta be like, I don't really want to jump because bad things happen when I leave the ground. Yeah, you're probably getting there. Aggie, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
Great, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. What can I do for you?
I have a question. I'm trying to navigate what I discovered to be some sort of a pen pal ship.
Okay.
I met this guy organically at a karaoke night, and I approached him and I complimented him on his singing, and then like we ended up hitting it off really well. We have some mutual friends, turns out. We went to the same high school, but we're a few years apart. And I guess what I'm trying to like figure out is that we started off physically like really quick. I ended up developing some feelings. He's been very reassuring about my feelings though, but it has crossed his mind that a friendship is something that he's looking for. So I told him, I'm like, okay, well, if we're misaligned, then I guess it is what it is. Like, no hard feelings. But then he wants to come back and say, oh, even though we're misaligned, like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, we can still talk and get to know each other better. So me being hopeful, like, seeing as this might transpire into something a little bit more serious. Like, he knows my intentions. And I guess I'm just trying to like understand better how can I get him to open up to me about his intentions. At the same time, our patterns have changed. Like, we don't hang out at night anymore, but we've been like chatting at night, and it's kind of like I'm getting a little tired of just feeling like I'm a pen pal.
Okay. How long ago did y'all have that conversation?
Like, I want to say a couple weeks ago.
Have you slept with him since y'all had that conversation?
No,
Okay. How frequently do y'all talk?
every day.
Okay. What do y'all talk about?
Talk about his day, talk about my day. I've been home the last month because I had an injury, so I haven't been able to work. He's been working like mad hours. Like, he's got 2 jobs. So like, I don't hear from him until like he's done working, or he'll check in like in the middle of the day, that kind of stuff. But then like, the last time we talked was like last night. I told him at like 2 o'clock in the morning when he texted me about his day that I was, it's pretty late, like I was asleep. And he's like, oh, sorry, obviously I didn't try to wake you up. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, I heard my phone go off. Like, I thought it was something serious. Let's talk in the daylight, that kind of, like, that's just kind of like how I left it at. And I saw he left me on red about that. So I haven't heard from him today. I don't know how he feels about me setting up a boundary like that. We talked about boundaries because he's kind of dealing with something on like a friend of his or whatever, and I, was just applying a helpful, advice about, boundaries are right, like it's important. And I also kind of casted a line there to see how he feels about setting up boundaries. If I were to set up a boundary, how would he react to it? So just kind of like, just trying to like see if like what kind of information I can get from just casting that line.
How old are you two?
I'm 35. He's 39.
Okay.
And
when y'all
yeah, he doesn't live far from me either.
Okay. Have you been to his place?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And you say he works 2 jobs?
Yeah, so he works in finance, and then he does like some communities community work too, for like on a trustee board type of thing.
Okay. Both are confirmed, or just so what he told you?
Both are confirmed.
Okay. All right. And you basically said that you were catching feelings, and he was like, I'm not catching.
Well, the vibe I got right after I told him, like, he was like, he was the one who was like, I know your feelings are stronger than mine. And that's when I brought up, like, okay, well, I guess we're misaligned, and I guess it is what it is. He was like, just because things are misaligned right now doesn't mean, like, things can't change or grow. And I'm just trying to understand, like, if it's a friendship that he wants, that's fine. But I just don't understand, like, why the constant, like, updates throughout the day, why the constant communication, is it validation he's seeking? Is it just because he's lonely and he finds like a part of the night where he wants to chat with me? But like, when I told him I was done doing the late night things, it turned into a late night conversation things. And it's like, it's kind of like the same thing. Like, I don't hear from him during the day, and I don't want to put on like a performance either, being like, oh, like, how is your day going? Like, just, I get he's busy, like, that's fine. But like, also at the same time, like, I'm home. I've got my own job. Like, I got my own hobbies. Like, I still, like, I'm trying to like recover from my injury.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you're falling into a problem that I normally have to talk to women about often, which is you're focusing on the why, not the what. Why he's doing what he's doing is not important. The only thing that's important is what he is doing. And what he is doing does not work for you.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't work for you, you clearly don't want a friendship because you don't feel like talking about your day. So you don't want a friendship with this person. So you only would like a friendship if it is a middle step to a relationship. He's telling you he doesn't want a relationship. I would believe him. So trying to figure out why he's doing it is not important. Just ask yourself the question, does this work for me or does it not? If the answer is no, then move on.
That's the part where I'm struggling, is I feel like I'm lacking courage of moving on.
Okay. All right. Why are you lacking courage of moving on?
Because I'm still in the back of my mind, I'm hopeful about where this can go. And if I cut things off, like, then I'm just going to be back to square one. And,
Okay.
you know, I enjoy the conversations we have when they get deep. It's just that I just want to know, I just want to be able to see this, putting in so much effort the last couple months in this thing. Like, I want to see it fully play out instead of me just like cutting it off right away.
Yeah. So let me absolve you of that belief. You're already at step 1. You're just talking to somebody. He's not giving you any evidence that he's moving this to anything serious. He's likely using you for some degree of validation. Feels good to be desired. Or just simple boredom. That's why he prefers to talk to you when it's late at night. So, you are wasting your time. So you're sacrificing meeting somebody else so that you can continue talking to a person who's already told you they don't want a relationship.
All right. You know, like this kind of validates like all the feelings and thoughts I've had in the back of my mind. I thank you for being honest with me.
Absolutely, love. I wish you the best, all right?
Thank you.
All right. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great, love. What can I do for you?
Okay, so I do have like a long story, so I'll try to make it as short as possible.
Please do.
But I recently went back to online dating.
Uh-oh.
And I matched with this guy.
So it's a horror story.
Huh?
So it's a horror story you're about to tell me.
I hope not.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so yeah, we met. We instantly, like, we clicked, we laughed, we talked about surface stuff, about deep stuff, and we decided to see each other again.
Mm-hmm.
We made plans based on the conversation that we had on our first date, and we kind of decided to watch something together. But then, after giving it much thought, I said, hey, I would love for our second date to be outside. And he respected it and immediately found something else for us to do. We went on that date and we went dancing, we ate, but we also were drinking a little bit. And long story short, one thing led to another and we were intimate.
Mm-hmm.
The next day, like, he reassured me that he was still very much interested in seeing me, and he made plans again for our third date. And he was like, no, like, I really want this date to be in the morning. And I was like, why is it so important for it to be in daytime? He said, because I want to build on our connection. And I said, okay, great. So we did that, and bear in mind, throughout, this is about 3 weeks now, we've been texting and everything has been really good. The conversation is flowing. He's telling me like that he likes me and he admires my work ethic and a lot of stuff. Long story short, because of the signals that he was sending me and how serious he sounded about our connection, I was like, okay, I feel like on our third date would be a good time to bring up what are we looking for.
Okay.
So did that, and he was like, you know, I wasn't really looking to find anyone. I'm not in a place financially where I want to be, but I really like you and I'm willing to see where things go.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to preface that I realized I do have an anxious attachment style, so I think when I heard that, my brain kind of went into panic mode, and then I started to like be like, well, what's gonna happen? Yada yada yada. And I started to take that little small information that he gave me instead of looking at his actions and how he's been present and planning things ahead of time as like the marker for his interest. And I think when I panicked, I started to talk more about like, well, we were intimate. If it happens again, like I would want to be sure that we're only intimate with each other. And he said, well, I want to avoid private spaces so it doesn't happen again, so we don't make this connection about intimacy. And long story short, after that conversation, I felt a shift, and then he started asking me questions about.
Wait, you said that you said you want to avoid private spaces, or he said that?
He said that.
Okay.
He said that he knew that if we were to do that, or at least get there, we would end up, being intimate again. And he wanted to like nurture our connection.
Gotcha. Okay.
But then after that, and I think where I panicked a little bit and I started talking about like, so what's going to happen? You said you weren't ready for a relationship until you were 30, yada, yada, yada. I think maybe I might have put pressure on things. I'm not entirely sure if that's the best analysis. But then I saw a shift as we were walking home. He started asking me more questions about intimacy. And I was like, oh, okay, I think like maybe he registered that I'm not the girl for him. And then he decided to put me in a different category. So I just really don't know.
What did he start asking you about intimacy?
Say it again?
What did he start asking you about intimacy?
He started asking me about like safe, sex, and like if I was aware of my cycle, and just if I was on birth control, and then just like little things. And at the time, it didn't register to me that what was going on. I was kind of just like laughing it off. But then after some time, I was like, oh, this kind of went down a road that I didn't want it to go down. And then
when y'all did sleep together, did y'all like use protection?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And then so like after that, things shifted, at least in my eyes. He was very engaged and funny. Like when we were texting, we would talk on the phone a few times. And then he let me know, like, hey, just to let you know that I'm at a convention for work. And there's some news that I have to tell you, or it's like some news that he got from work, and he's going to be much busier. It is confirmed that it is true. He got a promotion and whatever. Mm-hmm. But we did go on another date after that. But the vibe was just completely different. Yeah. So I'm not really sure, like, where things went wrong, or maybe I'm thinking too much about it, or if there's any way to recover from it.
Okay, so y'all met on a dating app, and y'all dated for how
long? 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
How soon did y'all sleep together?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay. How many times did y'all see each other before that?
Before that? Twice.
Okay. And you basically had the what are you looking for conversation, and then wanted to like shut off intimacy unless you got some degree of commitment, which he agreed, and even strengthened the plan by being like, let's not be in closed spaces together, okay? And then he started asking you about if you were on birth control, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then what was the behavioral shift that you noticed?
Yeah, so he stopped texting, because he wasn't texting back immediately anyway, because we're both quite busy, but it just felt very removed from where he was before. Like, he would send me little things that reminded me of him, he would send me songs or like just pictures of his day and stuff, but not, it was just,
Was he doing that even after y'all slept together?
yeah.
Okay, keep going.
And then after that conversation, he still texted me after that. It was regular, but then when he got the news about his promotion, he was like, hey, I don't really know if I can see you consistently. And he called me, letting me know, but we can, I don't know about seeing you every week, but you know, I can see you sometimes. And I was like, okay, you know, and then we did see each other 2 weeks after that. We watched Odyssey.
Was it good?
Yeah, it
What?
was good.
Okay.
It was good. It was good.
Okay. My read on the situation is that he's weighing his options.
Mm-hmm.
So the promotion would not dictate. Like, what does he do for a living?
He's in administration for education.
Okay. You can still fit a date in per week. So he's on a dating app. He's likely talking to other people. So
He was transparent about that. He said he was talking to one other person.
okay. Well, yeah. So he's shifting like his focus. So you're being kind of deprioritized. So, but he still wants to keep you around. Now, do you know much about like his? Did he come from a 2-parent household?
No, I
Does-
do know about his
Was he like
backstory.
was it like a single mom situation?
Single mom, yeah.
Okay. Okay. More than likely, he is. I think the question about like, are you on birth control was like him weighing. Should I be exclusive with this person? All right. Well, I can bust some raw nuts. Are you on birth control? Like that's. You see the thought process? He's like he's almost weighing it, and then after the fact, he's like, because him being like, okay, let's avoid private spaces. That was an unnecessary statement to make.
Okay.
So him saying that was him kind of agreeing with what you're saying.
Well, I think it came from us talking about a plan that we had made where I would because I make a good steak, so like we were just joking off of that, and we were mentioning having that date, and he already planned that ahead of time, but that was for another day, and then I mentioned that
Wait,
date.
what was the date that y'all had planned?
Oh, we were just gonna cook. We're gonna go grocery shopping and cook.
Okay.
Most likely watch something.
Okay. I mean, there's two ways I'm thinking about it. So he wasn't saying. So if you hadn't talked about that date, he would not have brought up let's not be in the same closed space.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, there's two things going on here. Put two possible scenarios. One, he's actually agreeing with what you're saying because it sounds like he fucks with you to a degree. Or by him being raised with, does he have siblings?
He has a brother from his mother's side, but years apart, different father. And then he has sisters from his dad's side, but he's not close with them.
Okay, that's different. All right. I was going to say, especially if he has sisters, like the single mother thing can create the dynamic where like you just know how to engage women a little bit better. Okay, so, or it can create that condition. So that could just be like he's trying to give you a bit more safety by seeming like he's agreeing with what you're saying and then even strengthening it, right? To kind of convey like I'm on board.
When you say agreeing with what I'm saying, what do you mean?
Of not wanting to sleep with each other until there's some degree of exclusivity.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Right. So it's like, okay, make you feel safe so that, you know, I can get back in there, like once the guard is dropped. But I would say that more than the highest probability rate is going to be he considered it, which is why he was asking you the questions that he asked you. But then after considering it more, he's like, let me go see what these other chicks talking about first. Keep her here, engage her, like put the minimum effective dose. So like once every 2 weeks, kind of keep you there, and then go and deal with these other women. And I might become exclusive. We'll see though. How long has he been single?
All I know is his last relationship was 2 years ago.
Okay. You know how long the relationship was?
Didn't pry.
Okay. How old are you two?
We're the same. Well, I'm 29, and he's also 29.
Okay. All right. Do you seem very like smooth, or were you just like very attracted to him?
Is he smooth, or
Yeah.
is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
I don't know about smooth. He's very, he's perceptive, and he remembers things. And just honestly, bare minimum, I get it. But it wasn't just, I don't know. I felt like how he approached me was different to how other people have approached me. And I liked how engaged he was.
Gotcha.
And he remembered little things about me.
Showed genuine interest. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I would say that my initial ruling, I got a gavel and shit, is accurate. Or the closest I've gotten to accuracy in terms of the possible scenarios. I still don't think that this is worth entertaining. Mm-hmm. Cause it's dating apps, man. Worst people to date are people who are actively shopping.
Yeah.
Worst people to date.
Okay.
So I would absolutely get off of that and try to meet people in different ways, because you're just going to have a bunch of negative experiences. It's part of the reason why everybody's complaining about dating now. What they're really complaining about is dating apps. They treat those two things like they're synonymous, and they aren't.
Yeah, I got on it at the start of the year. I mean, went back on it on the start of the year.
Right.
After a horrible experience. But I guess, reading the same book and hoping for a different ending, right?
Yeah, so I would get off that. This ain't really something I would invest in.
Okay.
Because it's not that he's wrong for thinking about sex, but he's still thinking about it, which is why he was asking those questions.
The thing is, I'm wondering if he did, because I brought it up twice after he had mentioned twice that he wanted to build the connection elsewhere, because he was the one who said it first.
Said what first?
That he wanted to refrain from he's essentially, when he planned the third date, he wanted it to be in the daytime so we could really nurture their connection. I know I keep saying, but those are his words.
But that was in response to you. Well, did you ask? This was after you said the whole bit about not wanting to be physically
that
intimate.
was prior to our second date. The second date at night is when we were intimate, and then he planned another date, and he said that wanted it to be in the daytime so that way we could really get to know each other and keep that momentum going that way.
But that wasn't a response to the conversation you had around like not wanting to be intimate unless it's like an actual relationship container here?
No, that was prior. And then on that third date, that's when I mentioned, like, if we're going to see this through, I mean, most likely it might happen again. I'd rather do it in a safe way.
So you communicated that after he said he wanted to have a date in the daytime?
Yeah.
Okay. That changes things a little bit.
Essentially, that third date, and after that we had that conversation, I was trying to figure out, okay, clearly I think you like me, so I would like to see where we are. Are we on the same page? And then he started saying stuff about wasn't really looking for anything, and then mentioned finance, and then we talked about him talking to one other person, and then I said, what about the other dates we planned? He said, yeah, da, da, da. I think, like I said, my anxious attachment style kind of went into panic mode, and then when he
So
started
you
saying
had
stuff
that
like,
conversation before he was talking about the daytime date.
that was after. Is it confusing?
Yeah, the timeline's confusing me as far as like when,
Okay,
when
I'll
communication.
just sprout it out.
Okay.
First date, fine, chilled, connected.
Okay.
Prior to second date, we were on the phone. We were planning to see a movie in a space, either my apartment, his apartment. I called and said, hey, can we do a date outside? He said, sure. Planned another date. Went on that date. That date was fun. Drinks, a lot of drinks, food, dancing. That's when we were intimate that night.
Right.
Then the day after, a few days after, we were on the phone again. He said, I really want to see you. Want to make sure that it's a date in the daytime. And then mentioned why. He said he wanted to nurture the connection. Then he planned that date. We went on that date. I thought that was a perfect time to talk about where things were, not necessarily where things were going, but if we were aligned, if we had the same goal. Then that's when that conversation about other people, his financials, him not looking for anything really, but he liked me. And then I mentioned the date that we planned. Then he said private spaces. Then I said it might happen. If it does, I want to be smart about it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can see where things go, but like still, I would say that he's still kind of deprioritizing. That's like the whole. There's two things that's standing out here in terms of like the validity of the connection. One, he's flat out told you that he's not looking for anything.
Yeah.
So, off that alone, you could leave.
Right.
And then the second thing was him saying that he's too busy now to see you like once a week. I don't buy that. You can't carve out like an hour or two in a week's time to see a person. So those kind of contradict the other points. And whenever I see like contradictions, I just treat it like a worst case scenario situation. But you can see where it goes if you want to. I just wouldn't wait around forever. It's up to you. It is up to you. Because the nurture connections, like people say, like it sounds like he's interested in you. He just got other things going on.
I think he was.
You think he was interested in you?
Yeah, I think after that conversation, things shifted for him.
That's possible. I mean, you can choose like the wait and see approach, and I wait and see like another week, not nothing crazy. But
yeah, we went on the date after.
And the date was different.
Huh?
The date was different that you went on?
Yeah, not different.
Like how?
I mean, he still, was present. He paid for everything, but like, he would usually walk me to my door. He didn't this time. It just didn't feel like how it felt the other dates.
Okay, yeah.
It just felt a little bit removed.
Get out of there. I didn't know y'all saw each other again. Yeah, get out of there. Get out of there. Nah, yeah, I think, because that's the thing that can make these things confusing. Because, and I'm glad you called that out, because a lot of people online will be like, if they like you, right, they'll say shit like that. As if liking someone is like a permanent state. You can like someone, they say some shit you don't like, now you don't like them as much no more. Or you can not really be feeling them, and then you get to know them, learn something about them that makes you admire them, and then you can like spike in liking them, right? So it sounds like he was interested, and liked you, but then based on this conversation, you probably sat on it and really thought about it and was like,
Yeah, I have a feeling that might be the case.
So now he's in the process of kind of pulling back, which the early signs of that was like him obviously cutting it down from once a week to once every other week. And now you're saying that he's doing a little, like, not doing simple things like walking you to your door and stuff like that. Nah. But he definitely has some degree of interest at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to foster the connection after sleeping with you. I saw some women in the comments like calling it out as like player. That would be player if like y'all hadn't slept together yet. And he was trying to give you enough safety in order to make you feel safe enough to sleep with you. After he's already slept with you, there's no need to even go that direction.
Yeah.
So the most likely scenario is that he actually did have some degree of genuine interest, but that's with the assumption that he was still going to be sleeping with you. So you removing that is like, oh, I got cut off shorty. The other girl, I like her too. I may like her a little bit more because I've been dating her longer. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't had a lot of dating experience, so I'm just like learning. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, this ain't the place to get it. Not dating apps. Not
Right.
dating apps. I would try to go out there in the wild and meet people that way. But dating apps is gonna select for very unhealthy personalities a lot of the times.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem, dear. Best luck to you.
Thank you.
That was an interesting one. You didn't follow the typical pattern, you know? Very, very interesting. Oh, y'all ladies saying he was a player. What made y'all think he was a player? What made y'all think that? More about why dating apps aren't the move. Because of the type of personalities it selects for, right? So it's like, I'm thinking because there's like 100 different reasons why I don't like dating apps. 100 different reasons. But one, you're dating people who are actively shopping. They're actively shopping. So they're guaranteed to be dealing with other people. I was talking to a woman on this live, and she was dating a guy at the time who she saw real potential with. Like, she was like, we have a really good connection. But then there was a guy who was like her perfect type, who liked her profile, and then she started dating him, and then she cut the previous guy off. And that new guy has now had her in a situationship for a full year. It changes the dynamic of dating, because the thing that is emphasized on dating apps are aesthetics and looks. Okay? So people treat it like a catalog. When you like meet people in person, you're not treating them like you're looking at a catalog. Like, that looks good, right? Like it's a menu. Like, what's the specials, right? Like shit like that. Like, you're not doing that. But on a dating app, you are. You're like, that doesn't look good. Okay. Ooh, that looks delicious. Like, right? That's the orientation. It don't match how you really connect with people in real life. So you will swipe left on somebody who you probably would really connect with in person because they got some shoes on you don't like, right? Because men and women have different like experiences on dating apps. So women tend to have so many options, so many men liking their profile, that it becomes overwhelming. So their strategy is, let me reduce my options. Let me reduce the amount of men that I have to like comb through. Okay? And the way that you reduce your options on the dating app is you become very scrutinizing. You become very picky in a sense. So you'll start disqualifying men for the smallest reasons because you want to decrease that number. Now, you wouldn't disqualify a man for like this small reason in real life because you get to take in his whole essence in real life. Right? But on a dating app, when you have 500 likes, you kind of got to do that because you can't seriously consider 500 people. So you have to find a way to make quick decisions. So you start filtering for like very small things. And everyone on dating apps wants their best possible option. It's just human nature. So you're likely going to try to get like the guy who's the best looking, who has the best profile, but everyone else is too. So now he got 300 likes, but guess what? He not trying to filter his options. He just trying to knock all them joints down. 90% of women on dating apps are going after like the top 10% of men on the app. It's just the economics don't work on a dating app. Yeah, you'll find some people who find love because it's like a lottery. You know, the best looking ones lack substance and can carry a conversation. Think about this like macro, beloved. What I'm saying here is a general pattern. It doesn't mean you as a woman are doing that. It means generally that is how women orient themselves to dating apps. Because what else do they have to go off of? It's a dating app. You aren't able to just write about yourself forever. It's primarily picture based. So you're judging primarily on how physically attractive you find this person to be. Whereas in person, you get to consider other variables. So that's just one reason. That's a big enough reason to not do it. That's a big enough reason to not do it. I'll talk to guys and they're like, yo, she ghosted me. We had a good date. We had a good couple of dates. She even said she felt a strong connection with me. It's like, yeah, that's because Michael B. Jordan sent her a like. So now it's like, well, I guess I'm going with him now. It's the worst environment to date in. It's the absolute worst environment to date in. And they progressively get worse year after year because over time, people become too jaded. They become more jaded because they keep having bad experiences with the apps. And when they have bad experiences, their walls go up. They start being more defensive. So every year, the apps get worse and worse. So when people make points like, oh, I got married off of my app. It's like, when? 2010? That's a whole different world. 2018, whole different world. I remember I met my ex on Tinder when that shit was like still a new thing, when you still lied about how you met each other. Whole different thing. Every year they get worse. So yeah, if you've been married for like 5 years and you met on like Bumble, that's a whole different conversation. Because pre-COVID, they were better. Post-COVID, they're worse. 2027 is going to be worse than 2026. 2028 is going to be worse than 2027. And that's how it is. So I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. And it's actually worse the more attractive you are. The people having the best time on dating apps, like a lot of these people get married to be chopped. Be chopped. Better looking you are, the more I would say don't do dating apps. The more I would say don't do dating apps. Them chopped ones, it's harder for them to find somebody, but when they do, it's like, well, but we're both chopped. You're my only like, I'm your only like. Let's date. Yeah, let's date. And then they get married. And it's like, okay then, like, does it not make perfect fucking sense? People like, they got married. Show me their picture. What do they look like? Oh, she 300 pounds? Well, no shit. Yeah, I bet they are married. What other options do they got? What are we talking about? Anyway, I'm sorry. We try to keep things pleasant over here, but sometimes you got to hear the harsh truth. You know someone who got married off the show. What year did they get married? What year did they meet on the app? What they look like? That's what I want to know next. Congratulations. What year did they meet on the dating app? What they look like? That's what I want to know. What about the wild? Where would you suggest meeting people healthily? So I always talk about static environments, right? So those are environments where you see the same people over and over again. I won't give the whole speech now because I don't have time for it. But this is like the exercise that I give clients. Jay, I don't know why you're asking that question because we're getting married. I don't know why you're even asking me that. I'm still waiting on you to accept my proposal. I don't appreciate you embarrassing me in front of my chat like this. I've been sending out like invitations. I got the groomsmen ready. Getting fitted for the tuts. Like, what are we talking about right now? Why are you trying to meet somebody? This ain't no poly, open relationship type of shit. What are we doing? But assuming, so if you look good, it's a bad change for meeting people? What do you mean? I don't get your question. It's a bad change for meeting people? What are you even asking me right now? Anyway, so you want to draw 2 concentric circles, right? 2 concentric circles. One side, you write down your interests and your values. Other side, you write down the qualities of the person that you want to have. Where the circles intersect, write down the static environments that select for traits on both sides. Give you an example. I was talking to a client of mine. She said that she was really into professional development. So she put that on one side. And she also wanted a man who was ambitious. She put that on the other side. So I asked her, was she familiar with the organization called Toastmasters? Toastmasters is an organization that teaches you how to publicly speak. So she signed up for Toastmasters. Toastmasters, even if she doesn't meet a man there, she still has professionally developed herself. So it's still a win. But it does put her in an environment where that selects for men who are ambitious, because anyone looking to learn how to publicly speak is someone who likely is an ambitious person. So you're just being more strategic about the environments you're putting yourself in. And you're protecting the downside, because even if you don't find somebody, there still was a benefit of you engaging in this environment. It's more of a long-term strategy, but it can help you find more quality people. Like, there's trade-offs to everything economically, right? So the trade-off to that strategy is it may take time and energy and may require you to get out of your comfort zone, right? But the trade-off to dating apps is, yeah, you get speed. So you're able to meet people quickly. You're able to meet a lot of people quickly, but you sacrifice quality in the process. You sacrifice quality in the process. Now, you can meet someone on a dating app. I've had clients where it's like the city they live in, maybe they live in a small town or something like that, they don't really have a choice. Okay, well, if you have to use dating apps, just mentally prepare yourself. You're going to probably have to run through 100 different people before you find the diamond in the rough. It's just a numbers game, because it's a slot machine. So you got to keep pulling that fucking slot. But if you keep pulling that slot, you got to pull that motherfucker a lot of times, but eventually you'll hit jackpot. So if you're on an dating app, you got to cut fast. That means not dating somebody for 6 months who's not a good fit, and you knew that on date number 2. You gotta cut people off fast, get right back out there. And you also gotta be very emotionally resilient, because that shit is a marathon. You don't want to get winded. I message you, I need your advice. I don't give advice in DMs, love, but you can purchase a coaching call. So if y'all do want to purchase a coaching call, you want clarity over your situation and a step-by-step action plan so you know specifically what your next move is, DM me the word coach and I'll send you a link to book your call. It's all too much. Exactly, Jay, which is like, okay, meet me in the altar in your white dress. I don't understand. What's confusing? We already got this on lock. There ain't no need for you to even be thinking about this. I'm trying to save you from that, love. I'm trying to save you from suffering in that way, because you don't need to. Don't need to. But yeah, if y'all want a coaching call, DM me the word coach. And I'll get you right, okay? Fair warning, I'm not cheap. I'm not cheap. So when you see that price, don't be like, oh, no. Make sure you actually have money that you can spend. Okay? Wasn't talking to you, Sabrina. And the people who like don't want to pay, it's not that they're broke, it's just they didn't account for that expense, you know, or that investment rather. I just have some people, they'll see it and they'll be like, oh, I didn't blah blah blah, I didn't know it was this much. It is. It's that much. You drink a Fabuloso? Watch out. Watch out, man. No, the bottom of this glass is like it's colored. It's like stained. I paid more for that for coaching in the past. Talk to him, man. Because I'm like, you're still getting a deal. I don't think y'all know how much coaching is. Before, I was selling high ticket offers. That shit was very pricey. And we're going to get back to that. The price is going to change. It's going to keep going up. So, if it's too expensive for you right now, we probably ain't going to never work together because we just going to keep. The worst is when they charge a lot and they suck at coaching. Right. Those are good marketers. So the ones who are really good marketers, they make you think that they're good at it. There was someone on TikTok. I forgot what his name was. I think he's like a coach, but he's talks. I think it's a gay dude. He talks to women, and like he charges, I think like $1,000 or some shit for a 1 hour consultation. I don't know what he charges. It's up there though. And they were giving him a shit because I guess he gave some woman advice for, I don't know what his name is. I'm not calling nobody out. I'm just saying what I saw on TikTok. I'm just saying what I saw on TikTok. I don't know who this person is. Not familiar with him at all. I'm not saying he does a good job or a bad job. I saw a person make a video about the person. And it was like his advice was just like, go sit at a bar or some shit like that. What I think makes you unique than any other person is your advice is very personal, particular to the situation. I would say so. Yeah, I try to really hear people's specific situations and give them something that is going to work for them, not like, which is why I said that I do have some clients where dating apps is, Sabrina, just book for whatever time and I'll move it on the back end. So if like 7 p.m. Eastern time works for you, we can do that. If like 6 or 7 p.m. works for you, I'll just change the time. I'll change it on the back end. So just go ahead and book any regular time. Any random time, I mean. All right. Any final questions before I get out of here? 'Cause I do have to run. I have to take my son back to his mother. Any final questions? 8 p.m.? Okay. 8 p.m. Eastern time? It's going to be Eastern time, all right? It could be 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's fine. There's a few that I follow. I only follow logical people, though. Yeah, there are some good coaches out there. I'm not saying, I'm the only coach. Like, my coach is phenomenal. Yeah, we'll do 8 p.m., Sabrina. That's fine. So, like the guy that y'all mentioned, he might be good. I have no idea. I've never seen the man day in my life. My algorithm would not show me his content. It's not for me, right? I just saw someone make a video referencing a very expensive coach gave like kind of basic advice, but that could not be true. But there are some other motherfuckers who be on live giving dating advice, and I'm like, y'all are not good at this shit at all. I seen a dude where he was giving advice to a woman, and she had kind of like, was one, dealing with a guy she shouldn't be with, and then two, was kind of toxic herself a little bit, just insecure. And she was trying to get him back. Like she wanted to get him back. So instead of the coach like really diving deep into like the foundation or the core of the problem, he was like, all right, hold on, buddy. He was like, why don't you take a picture of yourself in lingerie and send it to him? What the fuck are we talking about, man? I think because it becomes so popular. Yeah, there's a low barrier of entry. So anyone can be like I'm a coach. He was like, yeah, take a picture of yourself in some lingerie and send it to him. There was another guy who's probably, this was a black dude too. I ain't naming no names. But I had a client and she came to me. I was the second guy she came to and solved her issue. And she was there. The previous guy, he basically told, she was trying to get a guy who she was dating in a relationship. He obviously liked her, but he had been cheated on in the past, so he was very skittish. So I had to explain to her like all the dynamics that were at play. And the magical solution the first coach she went to gave her was, you should cook for him. How does cooking for him assuage his fears of being cheated on in commitment? This is a popular dude too. Like, he has way more people in his life than I do consistently. Buddy said you should cook for him. So I paid you how much to tell me I should cook some meals? I can't afford the ingredients now because of how much I paid you. And Buddy said cook for him. They don't connect the solution to the actual problem. They just give like general advice. Like like the way to a man's heart is his stomach. That don't apply. Even if that is true, that doesn't apply to this specific situation. That doesn't apply to this. Now, what are we talking about, man? Anyway, so there is a difference. But yeah, at the same time, there are some good people out there. There are some good people. I'm trying to think of anyone I've seen on TikTok who was like, I could put my stamp like on, like, okay, they're good. Other than Danny, I can't really think of anyone other than Danny that I've like personally seen. Danny's just not good at marketing yet. So it's like he's not known. But he knows what he's talking about. And like Alexa said, there's some good therapists too. I don't know these people by name, love. I don't really know who you're talking about. All right, dear. I'll change the time after. So you'll use the same link, but I'll change the time on my end. So we'll do it at 8 p.m. But yeah, if y'all want to get my feedback on a particular coach, like send them to me in my DMs and I'll check them out and I'll let you know. I won't even say like good or bad. It's like highly competent, moderately competent, zero competence. Those will be the buckets. Cause I would get on some of these lives and watch them and see if I can learn anything. Cause I'm constantly trying to learn. Cause I want to keep making sure I give y'all more and more and more value. So like I'm constantly like, even beside me right now, like just look at the books. I was going through these bitches today, just being like, is there anything else that I can refine? But every time I get into lives, I'm like, I'm not learning anything from you. You don't know what you're talking about. You just don't know what you're talking about. This is a good book on negotiation, though. If you want to learn how to negotiate, like this is a good one. This is a real good one. All right, I got to run, people. But again, DM me the word coach if you need coaching. If you want to watch the playbacks of these lives, you can find them on YouTube. Go like and subscribe my YouTube channel. Link in bio for that. The YouTube name is @TheSignalDating. All right. What else? If you're new here, make sure to follow. I go live twice a day. So I'll be live again tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, people, that's a wrap. Appreciate the mods. Appreciate the chat. I will see you all tonight. Y'all take care.